We're picking every game for the Week 5 NFL slate. First, we have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at Atlanta Falcons. Atlanta is a minus 1.5 point favorite. Dobbs, who are you taking?
I'm a little surprised that Atlanta's the favorite, and I know they're at home, but I'm relatively surprised by that. I'm taking the Bucks. I think the Bucks are playing much better football. Again, minus the anomaly week versus the Broncos, but to me, it's look, the Bucks playing much better football. Bucks are going to win in the trenches, and Baker over Kirk right now. That's my bottom line.
Yeah, I think with Tampa Bay being the hot hand, that's where I'm going to go as well. I also do not trust the Atlanta Falcons defense just yet. While I know that the Tampa Bay defense isn't playing that well currently, I believe the Falcons are the 23rd ranked defense in EPA per play. While the Bucks are only 21st, I do trust what I'm seeing out of the Bucks offense a little bit more. Moving into our next game, we have the New York Jets at the Minnesota Vikings. Minnesota is a 2.5 point favorite. Where are you going?
I'm going Minnesota 100% here. But again, if this ends up being because it's like we couldn't not to spoil yours, but it's like we couldn't not pick the Vikings with how
Yeah, I
they're
picked the Vikings
playing.
too.
But at the same time, it's like if the Jets were the ones to play spoiler with Aaron Rodgers, I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'd be absolutely shocked. I'll just leave it at that. Let me know what you're thinking.
Yeah, no, I think just kind of at the end of the day, like this seems like a game that the Vikings could lose, but with the way that the Vikings have been playing, I can't pick against them. It's one of those teams where it's like you'd be kind of stupid to pick against them until
Yeah, I
they
learned that
lose.
lesson last week.
Carolina at Chicago. Chicago is a 3.5 point favorite. Who do you have, Dobbs?
I got the Bears here. And my logic is just look, the Bears defense should stifle the Panthers, albeit that Andy Dalton, I do think, can play better again than people think. But Caleb's getting better week in and week out. The Bears offense, albeit minusculely, Caleb doing most of the carrying, getting a little bit better, run game getting a little bit better. Keep their SP going. Bears should win this game by at least 3.
I'm taking Chicago as well. I think the biggest thing for me is yes, Caleb has been getting better. Yes, the fact that the Panthers, I believe, are going to be both without 2 of their starting linebackers and no Derek Brown. So I do think that Caleb should be able to play pretty well against this defense. I think they'll be able to run the ball. I do think that Matthew Stafford is a better quarterback than Andy Dalton. I don't think anyone rightfully thinks the other way around. And I think the Bears defense could have a pretty big day, even though the Panthers O-line is playing I want to say playing a little bit better than the Rams right now.
No, for sure. Again, yeah, it wasn't shown with Bryce, but look, that Panthers line not playing bad ball. Call it for what it is.
Next, we have the Baltimore Ravens at the Cincinnati Bengals, a divisional matchup, and Baltimore is favored by 2.5 as the away team. Who are you going with?
I'm going Ravens here. And also, and be clear, hand up, just kind of like the Jets one. If the Bengals are desperate and they can show up again, desperate, ready, hungry, I wouldn't be too surprised for the Bengals to play spoiler. I mean, they also are at home, but with what we've seen the past couple weeks from the Ravens, it's kind of like, again, I would be, at least for me, I'll speak for me, I'd be in a position, to me, I'd be foolish to fade them out given what I've seen the past couple weeks, how they're running the ball.
I'm going to go Baltimore as well. I would be pretty surprised, or I don't want to say surprised. I think I would be confused about the Ravens if they lost this game. I understand it's a divisional game, and I understand that the Bengals offense is not bad, but the defense is pretty bad. And if you can beat up on a Bills defense that was missing a few people, you should definitely be able to beat up all over the Bengals defense. Next, we have Miami at New England. New England is a 1 point favorite at home. Sounds like the easiest spread ever, honestly. Do you trust the Dolphins with Tyler Huntley or the Patriots with Jacoby Brissett?
I'm going to tell you this. I trust the Patriots with Jacoby Brissett. I mean, and is this the toughest game to pick ever? I mean, this is like, Lord have mercy. Are we in line for the worst football game in history here, ladies and gents? Like, what is there even to say? I mean, I'm picking the Patriots, but with what confidence? You might as well pick out of a hat. I mean, I might as well have.
To me, this is a game. I picked the Patriots as well. I picked this game thinking like the Patriots will win this game, and then when it comes time for the draft, they will regret it because this was a team that they probably counted on not winning against, and now the fact that Snoop Huntley is going to be playing, they're probably like, oh, we'll probably win this game, right? Like we can win this game. I don't believe in either of these teams, but I believe in the Dolphins so much less without Tua than I do with New England for whatever they are this year.
And that should concern Dolphins fans. We've already talked about sport. That's very concerning that all of a sudden without Tua, and it's again, we hand up. I'm giving Tua more credit than I ever did before after seeing the Dolphins now. It's over. I'm giving him way more credit than I used to give him. Albeit they're not gonna give him all the credit in the world. It's viewed differently over here now. Let me just keep it at that.
It's interesting because a lot of people were like, well, what would Tua be without Mike McDaniel? But what would Mike McDaniel be without Tua at this point? It seems like they need each other quite a bit, kind of like Bill Belichick and Tom Brady. They're not the same at all, but like you understand what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, Belichick. You're saying that he's Belichick. Yeah, at this point, yeah, that is right. That's exactly what we're seeing.
Cleveland at Washington. Washington is a 3.5 point favorite. If you gave someone that line at the beginning of the year, they'd tell you you are drunk and high. Who are you taking, Dobbs?
They definitely would have told you you're on substances, Hunter. You're not lying. But I'm going, and again, they would have told me I'm on substances for taking Washington, for taking these Commanders. But given what we're seeing now, it's not a surprise. I mean, Washington at home, just this disgruntled, dysfunctional Cleveland team. I mean, again, I'm saying that it's the theme of the show today. Lord have mercy. Have some mercy on these Browns. Man, oh man, it's just a tough situation out there. But I want to throw this in, like, little caveat. Look, if Deshaun plays how he plays last week, and Amari Cooper can remember how to catch the football, right? So if we can just catch the football and bring it in and not force turnovers when our QB throws a perfect ball, look, the Browns can still win this game. It's not like they can't win this game. But again, kind of like a few other teams we talked about today, at this point, I'm not going to be foolish and fade the Commanders until they make me.
I had the Commanders picked until just literally a second ago. I'm picking Cleveland. I'm thinking that while the Browns have not been world beaters on defense, right? They are a top 12 team in EPA per play. The Commanders have played the Cardinals. They've played the Bengals. And what's the other team that they beat? Let me see.
Why am I
They beat the Giants as well, okay?
Right.
The Cards are 28th in EPA per play on defense. The Bengals are 26 and the Giants are 20. This is the first time they're going to be playing a top 12 defense this year, and I'm interested to see what Jim Schwartz has up his sleeve for Jaden Daniels, the rookie.
Yeah, safe to say that this is a very good litmus test for if the Commanders can be a playoff team this year. I think that's an objective statement.
An AFC South matchup in Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a 2.5 point favorite. Who are you taking?
Again, people would have said we're on substances maybe at the beginning of the year, but look, I'm taking the Colts. I mean, and not that I'm taking them very confidently. I'm not, because if this was the week that the Jaguars say, all right, enough is enough, like enough is enough, we're not going to be 0-5, which, oh, by the way, a couple weeks ago, I did say it's very possible. So if it ends up happening, I'm right either way. I'm either right that the Colts win or I'm right that the Jaguars are 0-5 and they're the biggest hot mess in the NFL. I guess maybe I just can't lose with this take, Hunter. Jokes aside, I mean, I'm going Colts. I think Joe Flacco is going to show up. I think that the Jaguars are in such a bad headspace that I'm just leaning that, yeah, they could turn around this week, but I'm leaning that it doesn't turn around and shit's going to hit the fan fully.
I think if Joe Flacco plays, they'll win this game. I think the Jaguars are also getting closer to maybe winning a game. So I could see them winning, but until they do, I got to pick Indianapolis. Next, we have Buffalo at Houston. Buffalo is only a 1 point favorite, and you're going Houston. Why are you going Houston?
Look, my logic was just this. I think, kind of like I said earlier, Houston hasn't played up to the standard that we expect them to. They know that it's like we again, not that the record's bad, it's not. But you don't want to fall to a territory where you're getting close to being a 500 team. You don't want to fall to a territory where you're starting to not live up to the expectations. And for the Bills, I think the reality is this. When they start off as hot as anybody, like you said, and it's not that it's an excuse, but a couple key injuries and all this. And the Bills do this a lot where they'll go through some of the hottest stretches ever. And Bills fans know exactly what I'm talking about. And you know exactly what I'm talking about. They go through the hottest stretches ever and they find ways to cool off like really fast in a really bad way. Not that they don't get it going again, but we do know the Bills for this, and I could see this being one of those stretches. I could.
I am going with Buffalo. I think similar where they got stomped out when the Ravens kind of got stomped out by the Bills. I think they're going to come back with some energy where they're not going to allow that to happen again, and they kind of need to reestablish themselves because I still do think that the Bills are one of the best teams in football. And why did I just say that the Bills stomped out the Ravens? Or I was thinking about the Ravens. Wait, why am I'm all over the place. Who did the Ravens?
No, I knew that's not what you meant. No, I was saying, and you were talking about when they, right, essentially, hold on a minute here, because
what am I referring to? Because you know what I'm talking about, but I can't.
What you're really saying is just two disappointing losses to start seasons. They stomped themselves out the first 2 weeks of the year, is really what you're saying.
Yeah. So I think the Bills bounce back. Yeah. Disregard what I said. I was thinking about a different team. All right. Now we have Las Vegas at Denver. Denver is a 2.5-point favorite. You are picking Vegas coming off a win. Why are you picking them to win 2 weeks in a row?
So again, we saw the defense start to come alive a little more last week. And, part of me is thinking that albeit the optics are really bad, there might be some message in the locker room right now. Like, kind of like I can picture AP in the locker room talking about some, we don't want guys that don't want to be here to be here. And not that Devontae isn't, but we don't know the ins and outs. Part of me does think that there's a part of, AP where he's like, maybe Devontae hasn't been giving us his best effort. Maybe he was a part of the business decisions, right? And then I can picture him coming and saying, yeah, you know what? If you want to bring that Raider mentality, you're going to bring that Raider mentality. You're not going to play. I can see guys buying out on that right now and saying, okay, yeah, we're coming. We're coming off of the win that we desperately needed. We're going to find a way to turn this around. And what better week to quote unquote turn it around, right? Versus a Broncos team that, yeah, the defense is playing fantastic, but we know about this offense. And if you're the Raiders defense, you got to be saying, we forced a turnover too. We punched it in once or twice off of those turnovers. This is our game to win, or our game to lose, I should say. You get what I'm all over the place too, but you guys get what I'm saying. You get what I'm saying.
I'm going Denver. I think this defense is just going to be too good for the Raiders offense, who is probably one of the worst in the league. I mean, they're passing the ball okay, but when it comes to running the ball, they're just horrific. So I think Denver has quite a day with them. As long as Bo Nix is able to play like competent football, I think they should win this game by like a touchdown or more. Arizona at San Francisco. San Francisco is a 7.5-point favorite. This is a divisional game, and we both have San Francisco. Was this one of the easier picks of the week for you, Dobbs?
Well, given what the Cardinals just did, absolutely. But a part of me can see that.
I was just thinking this.
Somehow, some way, Shady lets him, hang in there, and I would be lying to say I couldn't see it as a possibility. But all that said, pedigree, trenches, give me the Niners.
Yeah, I have to go Niners too. I mean, I thought about it because it's division, and we saw what the Cardinals did to the Rams, and we saw how the Rams beat the 49ers. So I don't know, but until I see that. Green Bay at Los Angeles Rams. Green Bay is a 3-point favorite. We are both going Green Bay. We have a lot of picks that are same this week. We did not have a lot of picks that were the same last week, and you had a better week than I did. But I just think with this injured Rams team that Green Bay should win this game.
There's nothing more that needs to be said. And as a matter of fact, I don't care that the Rams are at home because we all know the running joke about the Rams at home. But anyways, and just just more than anything, LA teams in general at home. That's kind of just the running joke, right? But look, I'm saying the Packers fans, they're going to show up and show out for their team. But the bottom line is this, and this is really the biggest thing. If the Packers don't win this game, all of a sudden, you should be a bit concerned because it's not even about the Packers. It's about the fact that what the Vikings are doing, what other teams in the NFC are doing, surprising us. All of a sudden, if you're a Packers fan, there's a bit of concern to be had. If Jordan Love can't go out there and hoop on this defense, I'm going to be concerned as a Jordan Love truther. I'm just going to I'll leave it at that.
Yeah, I feel like this is a pretty easy spread in my opinion. I have the New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks. Seattle is a 6-point favorite. We both have Seattle. They looked really good in that Monday night game. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went out and beat a Giants team who were both pretty low on.
No, no, absolutely. And more than anything, kind of, it's just, yeah, like it, again, that doesn't matter. This was one of those games where even if the Giants were at home, which they're not, it wouldn't make a difference. Like the Seahawks are a much better roster overall. I'm not even necessarily worried about the injuries, even if they're, because I don't know what the situation, I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm certain on the injury situations, who's going to be back this week, who's not. But the bottom line is, Seahawks are a better team regardless. They are a better coached team at this point, we can say. And I think Geno Smith goes out there and hoops on the Giants defense. That's why I'm going to stick with that.
We have the Dallas Cowboys at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Pittsburgh is a 2.5 point favorite, and we both have Pittsburgh. I think for me personally, Dobbs, I do see a world where Pittsburgh drops 2 in a row here. I do think that Pittsburgh actually has a pretty good day on offense here. I want to see the defense take a bounce back because we know the Dallas offense is pretty good. But when it comes to the Pittsburgh defense, they really have to step up because the offense can really take advantage of a really weak Dallas defense, which is like third worst in the league.
No, 1,000%. And look, again, if Micah and DeMarcus were playing, I do think that maybe part of me would have said, nah, Dallas has got to have a really good week. They
Fourth worst in the league. My bad.
And I might have, you're right. And I might have taken Dallas. But with them both out and the Steelers saying to themselves, man, like we should have had last week, we should be undefeated. I think the Steelers come out hats on fire. Give me Pittsburgh.
Last game of the schedule, we got 4 teams on bye. We have New Orleans at Kansas City. KC is a 5-point favorite. Who are you riding with?
I'm just gonna say, and again, this is not the Saints enemy at all. I think you're gonna agree. I'm gonna be honest. Of all the teams that got a more than 3.5 spread, I'm a little confused on this one. I am, because if you've been watching the Saints defense, besides when it's under 2 minutes and they have the lead, and you're watching the Chiefs offense, I do think you are saying objectively, like, this should be a really close, maybe dare I even say it could be kind of an ugly game. And I'm surely they'll make me look stupid again. But I took the Saints because I'm saying to myself, if this defense can do what it's been doing and the offense can just find a way to move the ball on the ground, but maybe that's part of the problem, is I'm expecting Derek Carr to be able to do anything against this Chiefs defense. You know what, though? It's more like I have faith in that the Saints defense can step up. And on top of that, the Chiefs haven't been playing good ball. They're still undefeated. Is it the week where finally that it catches up to them, where if they don't play a really good game, that the other team's going to come in ready to take out the champs, hats on fire? That's kind of how I viewed this one.
Yeah, I think I look at it in a way of, I think KC should win this game. I need to see the Saints pick back up their hot hand. And if they do, then I definitely will pick them more in the future. But I get the not looking stupid. I picked the Rams literally last week against the Bears just so I didn't look stupid. But now I'm going to pick the Bears this week and they're going to lose. So, yeah, I don't know. I think I really would like to see Patrick Mahomes pick it up because this defense is playing really well. So if Patrick Mahomes can play like we know he can, then they should win this game. But
I'll also leave it at this. Look, the Saints notoriously over the last couple of years, whatever reason, we just can't guard tight ends for shit. And Travis Kelce's coming off the best week. If Travis Kelce goes for 200, you won't see any surprises. You won't see me surprised.
He's really going to be a focus without Rashee Rice and Hollywood Brown. So it's going to probably be the Kelce and Worthy show, honestly.
No, I can agree with you on that.
Thank you guys so much for watching. This has been our Week 5 NFL game picks. If you don't know ball, want to know ball, be sure to subscribe, leave a like, let us know in the comments what game you think will be the biggest upset. Have a great rest of your night.